right, we are back.
We made it to another week. We live to see another week.
We survived. We survived.
Oh, let's jump straight into it. No fluffing here.
Yeah. So, what was your lesson of this week?
My lesson of this week, we worked with a beautiful client this week, and she had been burnt twice before actually investing in somebody to set her system up. And she'd spent, 2 different businesses, spent over 10 grand.
System as the Dubsado CRM, what we do.
Exactly what we do. And she invested in people who didn't have industry experience, and they, quite frankly, did a really messy, I was going to say horrible job. I don't want to talk poorly on anybody, but it wasn't set up efficiently at all. And it was creating her more problems that she ended up not even using it. And she came to us, and she obviously had hesitations because she had invested all this money and tried multiple times. But
so she invested once. Mm-hmm. And I want to slow you down here because you're flying through. She invested once, it didn't work out. She was brave enough to trust somebody else again, to invest again, to put time and effort. She paid that. And also was not good. Yeah. And then she did it again with us. She inquired with us after 2 big errors before.
And she did do her research, she did the best that she could. We weren't actually operating when she invested before, so she didn't have the option to come with us prior. And that's the thing, is that when people are marketing saying, oh, we know how to do this, and then they do a poor job, it can be very disheartening. And the lesson that I've learned from her is there is hope. If you want to do something, don't be scared to try again, because honestly, I feel like if I were in her position, I would have potentially just given up. I don't know if I would have tried a 3rd time, and I absolutely admire her for that. And I think that I need to take on some more of that. So that's what I've learned this week, is that there are still people out there that can help you. Don't lose hope. Just take some more time, find the right people. What she did, we actually asked her why she was brave enough to invest again. And she said, firstly, when she spoke to us on the phone, she knew straight away she could tell we were very experienced, and she knew what we were talking about. And the second reason is she spent a lot of time reading our Google reviews and the results we've been able to get people. So she did her research, she spoke to us, and then she made a decision. So that's what I've learned, is that keep trying. If things fail, you can keep trying. The
resilience of business, because at some point, when I talked to her the first time, her pain of having all the admin getting done was superior, was far beyond than the pain of her investing again.
Yeah,
and that's why she was like, guys, you guys are my last chance. And she came with us. And we finished it today.
We did. We launched it today. Oh my goodness. It looks amazing. She's so happy. We did a huge cleanup of her system as well. We're giving her the opportunity to start from scratch. We're providing her, all of our clients get lifetime access to training. And because of that, she's just so excited. And to be able to see her reaction, it just makes it all worth it. But anyway, what was your lesson of the week?
My lesson of the week is not related with business, but it's something very important to me, which is my health, my fitness journey. I started my fitness journey about 8 months ago when I took it seriously. Then I started kind of putting attention on my nutrition 4-5 months ago, and it's been tough because I've gone to the gym consistently, and sometimes you don't see results.
Yeah.
Sometimes you see your strength coming up, sometimes your strength coming down.
It's definitely not a straight line.
No, not at all. It's not a straightforward path. It's up and downs. And last week was finally, after 8 months, was finally the first time I saw an improvement in my body, a big improvement in my feelings, in the way I see myself in the mirror, which it is important, yes, up to a point, but it's so rewarding seeing that all the effort that you put in, all the time and dedication is finally paying off. And my lesson of the week is related to that. Nothing in nature happens overnight.
Yeah.
And you just need to keep going, because people say winners win where quitters quit. And sometimes people quit too early. Or sometimes people quit just before seeing the results.
Yeah, that's
Other
true.
people say life gets harder before they level up, and other people say, back home, people say that the darkest moment of the night is just before the sunrise. So that tells you that you gotta keep going.
Just keep going. Be consistent and the results will come. I love that. So,
Yeah.
that was a good one actually. Let's get into it. Today, we are going to be talking about things we thought were important in business, but actually are not. So, there's a lot that happens when you get into business and you're like, yeah, this is what I need to focus on. And then actually, once you've been in business a while, we've been in business for 5.5 years now, and you realize, oh, all of those things that I thought were super important actually are not that important. So, whether you're at the start of your journey or you are quite a few years in or many years in, hopefully you can take something from this. So the first point that we thought was important, but actually is not, is having a huge social media following. What are your thoughts on that? I think that every single person in today's day and age gets sucked into thinking, I have to have a huge social media following to get business, and it's just not true. I can tell you, look, I don't have a huge amount of followers, and I had clients at 100 followers, I had clients at 1,000 followers, I have clients at 6,000 followers. Like, it does not matter. What are your thoughts?
I personally know quite a few millionaires.
Yes.
And one of them, he's amazing. He has 17 streamlines of revenue,
Wow.
of money. And he's super, Boris is his name. He has 17, so he has about 5 companies and other different type of revenues coming from different streamlines, and he's a multi-millionaire. And when you go and see his page, he has about 1,700 followers.
That proves it, right?
And he's super successful. And honestly, he was the biggest representations of the fact that followers are not clients.
That's the thing, and I think that obviously having a social media presence is important in this day and age, providing quality content for your audience, you know, building your authority within the industry. Yes, it's important. I'm not saying that it's not. It has its place, but you can be booked and busy without a huge following. So please don't think that that is everything that you need to be successful.
Exactly. Most people will follow you for who you are, for how funny you are. Will they become ever a client? We will see.
Well, that's the thing. We've seen even people that have got a huge following and they're actually not getting clients. So that alone is not enough to determine whether you're successful. And if you don't have a huge social media following, please don't stress, because it is not that important in business.
Sometimes more is not more. Now, on the contrary, if you have a big following and you're doing well, also that will make sense too.
Absolutely.
Because the people that are following you are already engaged with what you're providing, either your personality, either your brand, either your product or your services. And the fact that you have the chance to put your services or what you are providing in front of more eyes increases the chances for you to sell. So goes in hand, yes, it can be. But if you have a small following, don't get disheartened, because we need to start somewhere. That's the reality.
Yeah, I think that's the point. Does a big following work? Absolutely. Yes, it does. But is it absolutely crucial to build a business and have clients? Absolutely not.
No, that's correct.
So point number 2 we want to talk about is things we thought were important that are actually not, is saying yes to every client and every opportunity. I am very guilty of this because I am a yes person. I am a people pleaser through and through. Actually, not long ago, about a month ago, I hit a point again where I was like, I'm saying yes to too many things and I've overworked myself, I've overpromised, and I will deliver, but you get to that point where you're like, why am I doing this to myself? Because you think more clients equal more success and more opportunities equal more success, but the reality is you need to be picky which clients and which opportunities are actually aligned. For example, you know, if you're doing collaborations with brands that actually have nothing to do with where you want to go in your business, let me give you an example. If you're doing, let's say, an e-com collaboration, but your focus is bridal, it doesn't make sense. And I was guilty of that very regularly, and I still can be, to be honest. What are your thoughts on this topic?
Well,
Sorry, I went for gold there.
Yeah, so I have friends that, because of the people pleasers, and they think that they need to do things for free in the beginning, especially the stage of business in the beginning, you have to do some sort of things to trade. But he has been doing photography for a long time, and he's still not getting paid jobs, and it's time for him to actually put the foot down and say, hey, those are my rates, and start charging for it. That's number one. Now, what I see happening, especially with you, is that you're a people pleaser and you promise and you over deliver all the time, but that goes against you when you need to focus on working in yourself.
Yeah, I sacrifice myself a lot.
So that is something, putting boundaries in place and establishing boundaries will allow you to ultimately be have more freedom.
Yeah.
And be more disciplined, because if you don't nourish yourself or your business, if you're not working on the business,
Yeah.
how are you going to grow? If you don't put marketing systems in place, if you don't put sales systems in place, if you're all the time working just in your clients, when are you going to actually scale it?
Exactly. No, I agree. And I think that this irks me because creative industries get hit hard with this all the time. They think that they constantly have to say yes and I need to. And so many people talk down to a lot of creatives, and it really disheartens me. You know, even being a makeup artist myself, people, well, I'm not anymore, but as I was, and friends will be like, oh, you can just do my makeup. And you think in your head, oh, maybe I have to say yes to this, and because, oh, I'm going to get a photo from it. One photo that I can post on my Instagram. Stop doing this. Stop discrediting how good you are and the value you bring to the table, because as a creative, you've been taught that you don't deserve more than that, or you should be doing stuff for free, or TFPs all the time. And no, you do not need to say yes to everything. If it doesn't align to you, even if a client comes to you and that client has a completely different style and vision than what you want to do, it's okay to say no to them and to turn down that job. You'll actually get more respect and build more of an authority and a bigger business than if you were to say yes to every single job and every client.
You touched on a point that is quite important as well, which is niching what you want to do. Because if you start business because you have a why, and your vision, your reason why you want to do it is either to have more time or to have more money or to have both. And if you don't have those boundaries and you don't niche yourself, number one, when you talk to everybody, you're talking to nobody.
Yeah,
that's number one. And if you don't set your boundaries, you're overworking, and in some point you're going to get burnt out. And that is not the why you actually started having a business. So that completely goes against the reasons why you started, and that creates a big dip and big unmotivation when you're doing it.
Yeah, I agree with that. And when I niched my business, you see so many better results. For example, we still to this day get inquiries from, we had a psychologist reach out and they said, will you build a website? And like, actually we solely focus on working with people in the wedding industry. We've had other people in different industries reach out to build systems, and I'm like, I'm really sorry. That's just not, can we physically do it? Absolutely, yes. But that's not what we love, and the people we love working with and the businesses we love working with. And by doing that, by sticking in our lane and focusing solely on the wedding industry, we're actually so much busier than if we tried to sell to every single person and serve every single person. And you get really, really damn good at what you're doing when you focus on one specific person. Let's say you're a makeup artist, focus on, if you love doing beautiful natural looks, then just focus on that. Stop posting full glam looks. That we kind of went way off topic there, but I think it's still important.
We'll circle, if I can circle back to it, we were talking about two things.
Yeah.
One, niche and craft your thing, and the other one is to put your boundaries, and those two things are within.
Yeah, that actually is, because we didn't actually have this on our list about things we thought were important, and that is one of them. Something we thought was important was we have to target every single person, and you just do not. We just obviously talked on that, but that's another really
so
good
to
point.
Finish the topic, don't say yes to everybody, because that is not what is going to ultimately take you to success.
Exactly. The next thing that we thought was important when we started business, but realized it actually isn't that important, is focusing solely or predominantly on getting new clients instead of nurturing the clients that we already had. Yes, new clients are important, particularly in the wedding industry. The majority of people only get married once or twice. We've seen 3 times, whatnot. But yeah, we didn't spend enough time nurturing the clients that we already had.
My take on that is from the business side of it. If you think about it, if I want to have 50 weddings per year, I need to market enough to get enough leads, to have enough calls, put myself in front of people enough to be able to close 50 per year. Now, if I do the maths, you need to do that every single year.
Yeah.
50 again, 50 again, 50 again, 50 again. And after you did the wedding and they picked you for the most important day of their life, don't you think they're going to be inclined to book you again for any other service, like birthdays, anniversaries,
Baby showers.
dinners, baby showers? Exactly. So what are you doing to retain them, to make them come back to you?
Exactly. It's all about effort, right? And obviously, if you're in the wedding industry, you know you have to market to those 50 clients or however many, whatever your goal is, right? And that's normal and that's part of what your marketing is. But if you can then on top of that, let's say even retain 50% of those clients for more events, let's say that's 25 clients that you're bringing back every year, and it might be for multiple occasions every year. Imagine the amount of revenue increase you can have. And it is so nice when you get to see your clients again and talk to them about their wedding, and you have that relationship that goes beyond small talk, which can be draining when you're just constantly small talking with everybody. So yeah, that is a very overlooked thing. And
we spend so much time and money in marketing, nourishing people that don't know about us.
Yeah.
When it's so easy to just reach out to the people who already loved us and offer them a great service again, you great energy, everything great, and bring them back to be able to catch up. That could be a lot nicer. Honestly, people do business with people, and that is one of the most important things.
Yeah, I agree. Love that. The next thing that we thought was important was doing everything ourselves. I particularly was very guilty with this. Even when Geraldo came on board, I was like, I've got to do it. No, I can do it better than you. I need to do it.
I mentioned that before many times, and I still stand for it. You are a micromanager.
I'm just very
Through
particular.
and through.
If people work with me, they know I am very type A personality. Everything has to, I'm a perfectionist through and through. And honestly, I don't care what you say. That's why we're good at what we do. That's why I am good at what I do, because I really do care about that attention to detail.
It's true.
But it has served me wrong in the past because I haven't outsourced the things that I could have. And I spent so much time because you have to say, I've got to learn the time learning this new skill. Now I have to take the time trying to execute this new skill. Now I have to take the time revising it, and that process goes on and on and on. If you could just pay somebody who knows what they're doing, who's an expert in their field, and be like, cool, do this for me. For example, a copywriter. I thought, I've got to do all my copy myself. And to be fair, I have done the majority of things on my own. But it's a big skill to learn, and that's literally what people's entire career is. And so many things within the business I could have just outsourced, and I would have had more time to spend and focused on what I'm actually good at and what I actually loved, which is a really important part, what you actually love doing. And you just don't have to do it all alone.
Is as ridiculous as to think that the bride is going to do her own makeup, her own hair, prepare all the flowers, prepare all the gathering herself.
Yeah, do the photos, do it all. It's just silly.
She's gonna, yes. Why would you do that? So, outsourcing is a really good thing. Now, if I can think about two things. Number one, in some point when you get busy, you have no time, but you have money.
It's not a choice.
You have money. So, I have 24 hours a day. You have 24 hours a day. I can hire 10 team members today, and then after that, I will have, with money, I will have $240.
Hours.
Sorry, 240 hours this day, because now I'm purchasing it.
Yeah.
And that's the power of leveraging money to buy time. Now, that is one thing. Now, the other importance of doing this is because you can craft what you do and become really good at it, but you can grow really fast on your own, but you can't go further on your own.
And something that I think, this is going a little bit more personal here, is I was scared to outsource when I first started because I thought it made me feel like I was failing. I was like, I'm not good enough. I'm meant to be this business owner. Why am I not good at this? Why are there things that I'm struggling with? And I took it as a personal reflection of, you're not good enough. And it's just absolutely not that. You cannot be good at everything. And if you try to be, like, you're going to give 5% to every single task within your business instead of giving 100% to the task that you love doing and then letting someone take care of the rest. So I think that's a really important lesson to learn in business.
I love analogies as well. It's, for example, you go to a restaurant and the same person who served you, the same person who took the order, the same person take the payment, the same person goes and cook, the same person goes and delivers the order, the same person cleans. No, it's not like that. Every single person has a specific task they need to complete for everything to work in time with that synergy. And that is what we need to, it's like a body, right? The head cannot do what the hands do, the hands cannot do what the feet do, and everything works in balance, and that's what we need to learn to create a body, to create a team that can do things like that. So
yeah, I think it's a good one. And if you are doing it all right now on your own, we see you, we know what you're struggling with, and
we've been there.
Yeah. Just know what you're feeling and the struggles that you're going through, you're not alone. So, but it doesn't always have to be like that too. Like, be kind to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
The next thing is, we thought we had to be available for clients 24/7. Actually, I'm going to expose us here. We had a little argument about this.
I have that problem.
This week, last week. And this is, okay, Geraldo's new in the business, right? He's been in the business 7 months, I think now. Wow, time flies. This is a lesson that I learnt a few years ago. I remember I would be I was going to say excited, but it was excited, but also slightly verging on desperate when I would see an inquiry come through and it was 11 p.m. and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've actually got my eyes closed, but let me just open them again and send this quote because I think that's the only way that I'm going to lock in this wedding. And then sometimes you don't even lock in those weddings, so you're like, well, that was annoying. And it wouldn't matter. We were away for our wedding and I was replying to clients. I thought that I had to do that and I didn't respect my boundaries, and now the reason we had this argument is because Geraldo's doing the same thing, and this is, as I said, a lesson that I've learned, and I see him messaging clients at 6 a.m, at 9 p.m, and I'm like, stop doing this, because this is the thing, you're training your clients that you are available, and then you actually have no right to get frustrated when they're messaging you and calling you at all hours because you've taught them that that's okay. And by having boundaries and having that respect for yourself and for your business, your clients will respect you more. What are your thoughts now?
My take on that, well, sir, just sir. Coming from a military background, for those who don't know me, I served the Air Force back home for 11 years. And you are 24/7, 365 available. If they call me at 3 a.m. in the morning because an airplane was coming or because a military training happening, I needed to be there ready to go. And that is something that is so hard for me to disconnect. It's so visceral from me. Like if I see a message, I get like itchy. I feel like that person needs me, because I wouldn't reach out if it's just something easy. I would reach out when I need help. So I think that people need me when they reach out to me. So I get like, and it's a really hard lesson to learn. And once again, we touched it in point number 2, which is boundaries as well. So it's very important.
It is, and I agree that it's tough. I'm the same. If I see a message, I am a tunnel visioner and I cannot focus on anything else until I have fixed that problem. And because of that, I'm just like, great, I don't have my work email on my phone. We have a separate work phone. Geraldo still uses his personal phone, but I'm about to take it off him, throw it to a wall and buy a new work phone that is only work. I will turn it on at work hours. That's the next stage, guys. Bear with us. If this happens, you know that he's still responding to clients after hours. No, but honestly, like I know, you have to know your limits, right? I know that I can't see a message and not reply to it. So
if I all of a sudden disappear and I just appear in a river somewhere, it's because my wife lost her patience?
I wouldn't be dumb enough to put you in a river. I'd go somewhere. No, I'm joking.
She's learned too much. Anyway.
Yeah, having an ex-military husband, you learn more than just dumping in a river. But
what's the next point? Is that the last point?
No, I just wanted to touch on know your boundaries, know your limits. My limit is I can't see a message. So in order to stick to what I know that I want and I need within my business, I have to put those limitations as far as don't have your work email on your phone. Don't send client text messages from your personal number, use a work number. Don't have anything work-related on your phone, and that's it. So
there's one more point, and I'm going to put it as a bonus.
A bonus? What makes it a bonus?
The bonus is that things that I didn't know or things that I thought I needed for businesses, but really they don't matter. You don't need a degree. Yeah. You don't need anything. If you want something, work on it. If you don't know what you need to work on, create a map. Okay, this is where I am. This is where I need to go. How can I fill the gap?
Where are you going? This isn't our last point.
Oh, I
You're
wanted
going rogue.
I wanted to give it as a bonus
We
because
still have one more that we haven't touched on.
I wanted to touch on for the point that people don't need qualifications. I've seen friends that they've been studying marketing for 7 years and still don't even know how to run an ad. You don't learn how to play basketball by reading a book. You go and learn basketball by throwing the ball.
Yeah, so you don't obviously need. Geraldo came here thinking university was everything because that's what they learn in South America. If you don't go to university, you're going to be a failure in life, and you don't need that. Now, the actual last point was he went astray there, but that's fine. We'll get more bonuses, all the bonuses. That was a little cheeky bonus. The last point is thinking that you solely need to work on your skill. I did this a lot. I studied makeup, I got my makeup certification, and then from there I kept taking different masterclasses in makeup thinking makeup is my skill. I need to be so good at makeup, so good. I need to keep learning. And yes, that's important. But I neglected learning business. And it was about 1.5 years in when I got my first business coach and actually learned the skill of business. And I was like, well, I would have been so much further in my career, in my success right now, if I had have prioritized this over solely focusing on learning makeup. But so many creatives think that that is the only way you can get ahead is by investing so much again and again and again to progress your skill. And that is great. But don't neglect the other sides. Don't forget to invest in learning business. Don't forget to invest in your systems and your back end of your business that keeps things running and gives you more time to then practice your skill if you want to. But there are so many talented people in this industry. What is your advantage? Your advantage is actually being really good at business and having a great seamless experience in the back end as well. What are your thoughts?
I think...
You don't look impressed.
No, I think people get stuck on polishing the product, polishing the service, instead of marketing it. If I ask, or doing the marketing for it, if I ask my mom, your mom, anybody here can probably create a burger that is a lot better than Macca's burger.
Yeah.
So how come, if you can do that and your product is better than Macca's, how come Macca's is selling more than you? So then you need to understand, is it about the burger? Is it about the product and how good it is? No, it's not at all. It's about the marketing, the systems, everything that is behind the business for you to be successful.
Exactly, but in order to know how to do those things, you have to invest in learning those things.
Absolutely.
Why were you so unimpressed with my point when you just reiterated?
Well, that's what I am.
This is husbands, guys. They want the last.
If you want validation from me, good luck.
If people aren't watching this, he's sitting here shaking his head at me like, looking super unimpressed with my last point. But I think it's important, and you obviously just reiterated that was important. So whichever side you want to take, the analogy or
I think it's very important. What she said, I think is very important. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how...
I wasn't really impressed, but not because of your answer. I was just thinking deeply in what I was going to say too, for people to understand that one single skill is not enough.
Exactly. And you guys will learn that Geraldo loves his analogies. So we've got 3 today. They're going to keep coming. And
the bonuses.
If you enjoyed this and you learned something, please let us know. Please, I don't know what it even is on Spotify. Is it subscribe, follow, whatever it is, wherever you're watching, listening, please
if you think that this is important for one of your friends, someone around you, and share it with them as well. That could be important.
Share the love. And we hope you guys have an amazing week ahead, and we'll speak to you
soon.
soon.
See you next week.